How would you respond differently if you knew 100% that everything was going to work out for you in your favor? How would you respond differently to the challenges that you're currently faced with if you had 100% faith in the universe to bring you to the places that you want to be? How would you respond differently if you knew your prayers are already being answered and that the dissatisfaction and the satisfaction that you're feeling in ping ponging between is actually leading you to what you want? And I was seeing this video on TikTok recently, and the guy was talking about this feeling that a lot of us have when we are excited about an event coming up. Like how right before you put your 2 weeks in at your job, and those last 2 weeks that you're working, you know you're about to be done with the job. Suddenly, things at the job don't bother you so much because you know you're leaving. Or you have a trip coming up, but people are annoying you, but you let it go faster because you're like, you know what, I'm excited about this trip. So you don't let things bother you because you have 100% trust in a future that hasn't even happened yet. And I noticed that that's something that we can get our brains into, but we don't allow ourselves to do that on a general basis. Why does there have to be a event on our calendar specifically for us to have 100% faith that something good will happen? Why do we have to see it in our on our calendar to know that things are going to happen for us in the way we want them to? What if we just allowed ourselves in this moment to just have that delusional faith or trust that everything will work out? What if we just believe that God is God and God actually does mean us well? And maybe you don't know that for sure. I don't always know that for sure. But what if you just believe that? What if you tried believing that? How would you feel and how would you respond to life? Is what I'm thinking. And I want to add to that. I want to say that the information that you have gained from your past does not determine what your future will be like. And I want to say that one more time. The information that you have attained from your past does not necessarily determine what your future will look like. So, since you have had a domino effect of negative experiences of the past, your brain is taking that as evidence that life will continue to be bad for you and that life is bad. But as long as you're using your past as a measuring stick for how your future will be, you will stay stuck and actually you will attract in more negativity into your life. So you are stuck in that loop of negativity and bad things happening to you because of what happened to you in the past. And that is the thing about life that is very tricky that a lot of us don't notice is that you have to learn how to pick up things at the right time and let them go. When bad things are happening to you, you have to allow yourself to sit in that for a moment and then let it go. See, when you hold on and keep collecting these negative experiences and you don't properly heal or remedy them, you just carry that into your future. It's like carrying around a bag of garbage with all your past DoorDash and Uber Eats meals in the bag, and you're holding it behind your back. But you're expecting to get hired into a job. You're expecting to have a relationship. You're expecting to have all these beautiful things. You're expecting to just have fulfillment in life. But how fulfilled are you when you're holding on to the past so much? You're holding on to the way your family treated you, that past relationship, that past school, that past job. You're holding on to all of that and you don't even realize it. You're bloated on a spiritual level and mental level. You are bloated. So allow yourself to release all of that so you can experience the joy that is in this present moment. There is joy in this present moment, and there is satisfaction in this present moment. But while you're holding on to certain beliefs and how your life should be and the way it should have gone in the past, when you're holding on to those things, satisfaction will run from you, fulfillment will run from you. All these things, eternal bliss, peace, these feelings will all run from you because you are not aligned with them. Peace, think of peace as like and satisfaction as like guests in your home. They don't want to come into your home when you have trash everywhere. You kept all the trash that's ever been in your house. You never took it outside to the trash can. Peace, satisfaction, fulfillment, they don't want to be guests in your home. They don't want to stay with you because you have trash in the home. It smells bad. They want to be somewhere where the person is actively cleaning, spraying, it feels good, it smells good. They'll stay with you. And even though someone may come and rob your house, someone may try to some things may happen in your life that kind of rock the boat and they leave for a second because they don't feel safe, they'll come back to you as long as you do the spiritual maintenance of getting rid of the intruder, getting rid of the garbage, getting rid of the problems, satisfaction, peace, fulfillment will come back to you if you just allow them to. And you have to be present in the moment. They're knocking at your door. If peace is knocking at your door, fulfillment is knocking at your door, and you're so busy, like in your room, like traumatized, thinking about the past, thinking about who came into your house, thinking about the trash everywhere, you're not focused on the present. So they're not going to be able to come in. Peace, satisfaction, fulfillment will not be able to come in as long as you are focused on the past. And the thing about trust is that you either have it or you don't. And that's the thing I always tell people. Either you're going to believe that your life is going to work out exactly the way you want it to, or you're not going to believe it. And you have to learn to choose which side you're going to be on. This is a deep lesson I had to learn this year, is that either you're going to trust God to be God, or you're not going to trust God. You're not going to believe in God. Because if you believe in God, you have to believe in the power of God. And you have to believe in the powers that are in place in the universe for everything to work out for you. But if you don't believe that, that's fine. But just realize that not believing in that is going to reflect in your life in the way that it plays out. I feel like life won't play out in the way we want it to unless we learn how to trust. Because there's going to be certain moments where it doesn't make sense, where God is mysterious, where the universe is mysterious. Things don't make sense. Crazy stuff happens all the time that is unexplainable. And I think that's because life just has this duality to it. There's things that make sense, there's things that don't make sense. There's things that rise, there's things that fall. And it's just a certain type of chaotic energy in the world and a certain type of orderly energy in the world. And we have to be able to accept that in life. The thing about pessimism is that once you're in that pessimistic mindset, everything sucks. Even if the thing does work out for you on the random chance or occurrence that it does with your attitude, you're not going to enjoy it. So I feel like when you elevate to that optimistic nature and that trust, then when the thing does happen, you're even more grateful for it because you already have the optimism. But if you've been living in pessimism, it kind of ruins the result in a way. So it's like, why allow your mind to be so poisoned in pessimism while you're living here on earth? You don't know you really don't know what's going on, right? And earth may mean nothing, or it could be the most meaningful experience to have as a human in the entire universe, that this is actually the best experience that you could possibly have. You don't know. So why not do everything in your power to make it the most fulfilling thing you're going to do while you're here? Because you don't know for sure. So why would you immediately assume that it is meaningless and I shouldn't do anything and blah, 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 get into that narrative? Why not allow yourself to think higher than that? Why not? Why not allow yourself to go back to the childhood mindset that you had before, where as a child, you just, you had fun in the world. There wasn't always all these objectives anyways. You just had fun. You drew because you wanted to draw. You played because you wanted to play. You laughed because you wanted to laugh. And the incorrect thinking or mindset that we slip into as we age into adults is that we are not allowed to be childlike. We're not allowed to have fun. Yes, you have to pay bills. Yes, you have to go to a job, but it's not about the external. It's about the internal. You're allowing the external environment to change the inner child that's in you. And it's still there. You're just silencing it or ignoring it. But the inner child inside of you that wants to just play and have a curiosity about life, it's still in there. And with this video, I want to invoke the curious child in you, the one that just wants to explore life and continues to live life and continues to think optimistically about life despite whatever happens in your life. Because, like I said, a lot of us were the most happiest when we were children. So why not bring that energy into whatever situation you're dealing with right now, even if it doesn't work out in the future? Because I can't determine that. I can't say 100% that it will. I'm not going to lie to you. But what I do know is that if you can bring that childlike energy into this moment, into this challenge, you're going to feel better about it. And actually, since you feel better about it, there is a greater chance that you will have a better result in the future. But allow yourself to get to that point. Allow yourself to get there. Allow those seeds to be planted in your mind. The curiosity, the joy, the laughter, the exploration. Open your mind up to a new possibility. Life has a good way. It's like almost a spell over the earth where it causes us to think so narrow, where we think just a linear way about life, that if I have certain negative experiences, therefore the truth of life is that life is bad. And even the opposite, we have good experiences, therefore we have the mindset that life is good. Okay, neither one we can fully prove to be 100% accurate, right? So I always feel like, for me, and I guess it's just me as a Pisces, that it's always going to be better to just think life is good. Life is good despite not having money. Life is good not despite not having many friends. Life is good despite having one parent or no parents or being independent. Life is good. Life is good for me. I can't say life is good for everybody on earth, but life is good for me. This is how I think. No matter what happens to me, Tabari, I always think life is good and life is always working out for me. And the funny thing is, with that mindset, every challenge that I've been a part of has always worked out for me. And I really feel like that's because of my belief that it will. I may complain in the moment, I may be negative sometimes, I may do all these things. But in the back of my mind, I really have developed this belief that it will work out. I may complain, but the next day I'm going to try to do something about it, you know? And that's been working for me, where everything has worked out. And I feel as though it will continue to be that way because I have the belief that it will. And I feel like the universe is reflecting that belief back onto me. And I feel like if you can install that belief in your mind, you will have similar results as well. And it's valid. By the end of this video, maybe you still believe that life is bad. Maybe you still feel more pessimistic or negative about life. That's fine. But I want you to know that life can never potentially get better while you're in that mindset. While you're not allowing yourself to try, it's never going to potentially get better. You'll never know. You'll never know. So at least if you can get to a state where you can say life has good and bad parts, then you can try to make some movement because you're understanding that it's going to be a rhythm to life. But as long as you think that it's inherently bad and it's working against you, it's going to prove that to you. And even when it's not trying to prove that to you, you're still going to believe that it is. So it doesn't really matter, right? So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it was able to make you think a little bit deeper about the circumstances that you're in right now. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, do all those amazing, beautiful things. Leave a mountain emoji down below in the comments to let me know you watched to the end of this video. I will see you guys in my next video. See you later.